Next three videos, we're going to be interviewing the candidates for Inspector General. You need to vote today to have your voice heard. Your voice matters and your vote counts. So let's get started.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a really special guest today, is Sukesh. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, what do you do, and your previous experience, we'd all love to hear about it.
Thanks, Anna, for giving me the opportunity. And hello, everyone. My name is Sukesh. I'm currently operating a guild node, which is called GreenEOS.io on the WAX blockchain today. And I'm also currently running for the Inspector General position as well. A bit about my background. As you can see, I'm originally from India. I'm currently living in Sweden. Been in Sweden for almost 7 years now. I have a master's in telecommunications. I worked at companies like Ericsson, Volvo Cars, innovation teams, and managing their data centers. So I have a system administrator experience, hands-on experience working with servers, routers, and network equipment. So that's how I got into the WAX ecosystem. But in general, like I've been in the blockchain space for the last 4 years now, and I'm also the chairman for Swedish Blockchain Association today. And in addition to that, I have two other startups. One is Unbiased, and then also I have another startup called CryptoScat, which is a portfolio management and tax application software for cryptocurrencies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it in short.
That's really impressive. You got that down real good. That's cool. So you're in some important placements, and you have some really cool products, and you have a long history. That's really valuable. So I'm happy that you're part of the ecosystem. It's really important to have people that can think in different ways and have different experiences around to give us a different perspective. So I'm excited that you picked us and not Ethereum. No, it's so weird to say, but
yeah, like I never got like that interest into the Ethereum for some reason. I don't know. From day one, like when I first got to know about EOS IO, I was just like, okay, this is my thing.
mm-hmm.
And I kind of bought into that, and that's how we started back when the early on white paper came for the EOS IO, and then I'm also one of the founding team members for Telos blockchain as well, which is also based on EOS.io. And then WAX also joined the EOS.io space, launching their own blockchain. So we kind of joined pretty much from the day one in the WAX ecosystem when they moved to their own blockchain.
Oh, cool. Nothing against Ethereum. It's just fun that we don't lose really great people to Ethereum because we want them to help us out.
It's just slow.
So what got you into blockchain technology?
Well, I'm like very passionate about the technology from way before during my master's as well. So when I first learned about blockchain, I first came across bitcoins, and then digital currencies, peer-to-peer networks. So that was kind of my interest domain, even in my master's as well, like the peer-to-peer networks. So that's how I kind of got into it. And then I was always more interested in the technology rather than the hype around cryptocurrencies or the prices and all that stuff. So mainly the technology and the like kind of like the reason behind why we need a blockchain technology. So that kind of brought me into the blockchain space.
What about it excites you the most?
I think transparency and decentralization, giving you complete control and access over your funds. I think that's something cool. I think that isn't possible today. So these are the three things I really like about the blockchain technology.
Me too. That's cool. What got you into WAX?
Yeah, I think when I first learned about WAX, it was more like for me, okay, these guys are coming from a gaming background. This is an interesting domain. I always was interested in this space. And when I first learned about the NFTs and the previous experience of the WAX team, what they have been working with ops skins and such, it kind of got me excited and thought, okay, we should definitely join the network. And we initially joined as a validator or like a guild node, and we still operate the guild infrastructure today, providing the servers and network infrastructure for the network. And since then, like it has been quite a journey with WAX, like being part of many discussions in regards to governance. And then also we have been building a couple of our own applications as well on WAX. We have one game coming soon in the next couple of weeks as well
Oh,
using
cool.
the GPK cards. So that's going to be exciting as well. So yeah, I think I like this space, and yeah, I think it's definitely a niche industry, and compared to other blockchains out there, I think Wax kind of focused on one niche domain. I think that's super cool to see compared to other blockchains. Okay, we do everything. It's not like, okay, you have to focus on one thing and get it perfected, and I think Wax is really doing a great job at that.
Oh, awesome. That's really cool. Congratulations on your game as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. You have to let me know when it comes out. I'd like to check it out.
Yeah, sure.
And then I had another question is actually I have a lot of questions. um, so what do you think is the unique value proposition of Wax?
Yeah, as I mentioned, like I think right now, more and more as we're moving forward, I think Wax is positioning itself as the leader when it comes to the NFT domain or like the collectibles and the gaming industry space. With all the tool set that we have right now, I think uh, Wax has like more chance than any other blockchain out there to be really super successful. I think that kind of sets us apart when it comes to the other blockchains or other NFT platforms out there, like on Ethereum or any other blockchains, because you have less transaction fees or like no transaction fees at all. And then it's super fast, like almost instant when you're doing transactions. And I think that kind of makes it much more mainstream compared to other blockchains out there.
I agree. And so the reason we're interviewing today is because you're running for Inspector General right now,
Yes.
and the elections are actually happening as we speak, and the final day is on Sunday. So we're doing these videos to encourage people, the last people that haven't voted or didn't know it's happening, to get them excited and introduce them to the candidates. And so I was wondering if you would answer some questions related to WAX governance. So what does an OIG or an Inspector General do?
So for people who doesn't know about OIG or the Inspector General, it's a simple concept. Like in WAX, we have in terms of WAX governance, we have an office called Office of Inspector General, which kind of evaluates different guilds, basically the node operators on the network, basically ensuring the security of the network, and the quality of the guilds ensures also the security of the network. So what OIG or the Inspector Generals does is basically go through different guilds each and every month and tries to evaluate what they have been doing, what they have been up to. Are they doing a good job? Are they contributing in a good way to the ecosystem or not? And based on that, they actually rate each and every guild with some points. So whoever is in the top 21 gets to be in the active positions, and whoever is in the remaining spots get to be as a standby. So as an active position, you get to earn, I think it's around like 120,000 WAX tokens per month as a node operator, and as a standby, it's around like 66,000 WAX tokens per month. So this is an important role because this kind of ensures the network security and reliability. So that's super important. Like you have all these NFTs and everything running, but people doesn't really know what's happening behind the scenes. And that's what is the actual nodes who's processing these all transactions and ensuring the security of the blockchain. So and basically the inspector generals, so there are three inspector generals who form the OIG team, and these people are kind of like the gateway for the security. So I think that's a super important role, and it comes with a lot of complexity, and also you need to have a lot of deep understanding of how things work. So they basically ensures the security of the network. So it's an important role.
Awesome. That's a really good answer. That kind of answers my next question, which was, what is a guild? But like, I guess what would be a short answer? What is a guild for people that might not understand?
Yeah, so I can give a short answer. Say if you're coming from like Ethereum background or any other blockchain out there. So in order to operate a blockchain, you need nodes and servers basically. So someone need to operate these servers. And basically the guilds are the teams who are operating and providing this infrastructure so that all the blockchain network runs smoothly without any issues. So they maintain the stability of the network, they maintain the servers in the network, they provide the API endpoints, everything, so that any application that are building on top of Wax or any other blockchain can run smoothly.
Nice. That's a great answer. What do you think makes an excellent guild?
I think when it comes to excellent guild, I think there are many factors that are being evaluated in the Wax specifically. But in my opinion, an excellent guild is a team who can manage the infrastructure properly and who can work on is completely from a technical background, who can do a really good job in providing a good infrastructure in terms of performance and speeds, like improvements, identifying issues. So I think a technical background in a guild is super important compared to the rest of the stuff, in my opinion. So I think that's what kind of sets you apart from the rest of the guilds out there. I think today, if you look at like the whole ecosystem who is using this technology, EOS-IO technology, I think there are like, you can count on hand, like I think there are less than 10 teams who are really competent to do a good job. And the rest of them are basically following and just trying to provide what they can do.
And then all together they make Voltron and
Yeah.
and pretty much run all the EOSIO chains.
Yeah.
um, what does it take to make a great wax inspector general?
I think first important point is to have a good understanding of how things work, and like uh, as a guild myself today, I think that kind of gives you much more exposure of on a day-to-day operations of, because I'm basically going to evaluate what I was doing so far each and every month. So I know like the pain points. So you have to have that understanding of what are the pain points in on each and every day, and how can you address them and try to motivate more guilds to join the network so that you have much more resilience in the network. So that's an important trait, I would say, for a guild. And then also as a guild, you have to be compassionate. You shouldn't be arrogant when you're communicating, I guess, because like when you're talking with more than 30 different teams from around the globe, and you have to be super patient, and you have to give constructive feedback so that they can improve their services, and they can provide a better service at the end of the day. And if you're angry and if you're not responding or communicating properly, it's going to be really difficult for the teams to grow and evolve and provide a better service. And finally, I would say like you need to be so the first point is of course understanding of the technology, and then you have to be communicative. I think then the third point is also like when you're discussing internally, you need to have some kind of strong proposals which are much more objective, I would say, because we had issues in the past, which were when it comes to subjective decisions, because I personally have one opinion on a particular product and someone else has an opinion on some other product. So when inspector generals were evaluating different stuff, there were issues because of the subjective opinion. So in my case, I want to have like an objective framework which can basically avoid any issues or conflicts among inspector generals and the guilds.
I like that you added communication in there, because that's really important, and it's not the easiest thing to master when you're trying to communicate technical things and like
When you're trying to write in Telegram and like it's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the last point being objective. It's hard, but it's also something that you just have to like remove yourself from yourself and look at it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's super important because these people who are providing the infrastructure, they're trying to run a business and they're trying to do they're working hard and stuff. So you have to be a bit compassionate, but at the same time, you have to be objective so that you evaluate and treat all the teams fairly, even though you have some favorites and stuff. At the end of the day, you have to treat everyone the same way. So I think avoiding subjectiveness as much as possible, in my opinion, is super important for an IG.
I agree. What should voters look for when looking to vote for a candidate for the WAX Inspector General?
I think this is a difficult question. uh,
It might
I
be the
think,
same as what you just mentioned earlier. What makes a great one?
yeah, I think I would basically say that uh, you can go through all the proposals you can, but at the end of the day, you have to be involved to understand the real problems and issues when it comes to these kind of discussions. So at the end of the day, you have to go with your gut feeling and look through these interviews and see who is communicative enough, who has good understanding of the issues and problems, and who has better proposals and ideas when it comes to these problems. Because I think one of the important things which were lacking so far was good communication with the entire community. We have this huge community in the WAX, but not many people does really know like what is an OIG or what is WAX governance. What is the reason for that? It's basically like the previous OIG team members weren't really communicative enough. So I think one of the important things I'm going to bring as well is communication. So we will do almost every month some kind of activity explaining what happened during this month when it comes to governance and stuff. So have a look at the interviews and try to basically judge based on your gut whoever you think is good for the position, and maybe reach out to people as well and ask questions if you have any.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
I like that advice. While you're like slaying through these questions, so that's good for you, right? Because you're like, okay, it's late. Just a few more.
No, it's okay.
Okay, I'll hurry though. What advice do you have for future WAX Inspector General candidates?
I think for future inspector generals, I would say be more compassionate towards the guilds and the teams. I know it's tough job. It's odd times. You don't have a specific working time. You have to respond whenever there is a need, and you have to be very proactive. So be compassionate and communicative and give constructive feedback to the teams, and also try to bring much more objectivity oriented frameworks into the evaluation process, which makes not only your life easier but also the whole guild's life easier as well. So just be compassionate and communicative. I think that will do a good job.
That's really great. What advice do you have for guilds?
For guilds, I think you have to focus on what you're good at rather than just trying to do all the stuff. I know the current framework that we have kind of pushes everyone to do everything. But I think that has to change moving forward. So I think you all have to speak out a bit more than you're currently doing, and try to push the inspector generals as well to change so that they address your problems and issues. If you don't speak up, then they will just think like everything is fine. So you have to speak up as well at the same time.
That's a good one. What can the WAX ecosystem expect from you when they vote for you?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, one thing WAX ecosystem can expect from me is being much more objective and also bringing my experience within the blockchain ecosystem in general. But also, you will be hearing much more from me about WAX governance if I'm elected. I will be in different channels, in different platforms, and trying to educate you about WAX governance and why you should participate and involve in this process.
I like that. I'm excited about that part. I think it's important that everybody realize that there's a governance model behind each protocol and how they work, so we could find a protocol or some kind of hybrid that can help make the world a better place when it comes to politics. So I think that's
Yeah,
cool.
definitely.
Cool goal.
I mean, come on, like you have all your assets and everything on the blockchain. So you need to have some kind of motivation to ensure everyone is doing a good job taking care of your assets. So it takes 5 minutes for you to just evaluate and go through stuff. Uh, so you need someone to just bring that information in a structured way to you. So I'm going to be that person if I get elected.
Nice. What does the future of WAX look like in your eyes?
That's a really interesting question, I'd say. I think WAX is going to continue proving itself as a leader when it comes to the NFT space and digital collectibles and digital industry, I would say. I think I'm also looking much more forward towards the gaming industry. So we saw some recent success of Alien Worlds, for instance. Also, I think once mainstream games start coming into the WAX ecosystem, I think that's going to take over the whole blockchain space. It's a huge market and it's a huge potential. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think WAX is going to nail it.
I agree. I think so too. I think asking gamers to pay extra
Yeah.
to play a game just for the transaction part is going to be a bottleneck. What is the election process and how can we vote for you?
So election process. So we had nominations, I think 1.5 week back. So once the nominations has been finished, now the voting period has started at the beginning of this week on Monday, I guess. And it's gonna end on the 18th. So you can go to oig.wax.io and you can scroll down and you can look through the candidates and you can find my name there. You can just press vote and that's it. You can just log in with your Wax Cloud wallet or Anchor wallet and just vote. But please ensure that in order to vote, you need to have staked Wax tokens. So it's not like the tokens that you can trade. It's logged into the system. So if you are staking for GBM rewards or any other rewards on Wax blockchain, so you can vote with those tokens. So each token has one vote. So the more tokens you have, the more votes you have in the network. So I think there's going to be a link in the description. So please check out the link and please vote and support.
Definitely. We're also going to link your Medium article to your candidacy so people can read about your values and what you propose and get to know you more.
Awesome.
And if you have any last words or any encouragement, feel free to share.
I would just say check out the candidacy proposal and please do vote and support as an Inspector General for me. I would definitely promise to bring much more transparency and much more engagement when it comes to WAX governance, and try to educate the wider community in the WAX.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that sounds great. Can I ask you one more favor before you go?
Yeah, sure.
Can you say wax on or go wax in your native language?
Say JWAX.
JWAX, and that
Yeah.
means go wax in
Yeah.
Indian?
Uh,
Or
yes,
what
in
would it be?
Indian language, or like it's called Telugu.
Telugu?
Yeah.
Cool. That's really cool. I'm really interested in languages, so.
Yeah, we have many. So.
But that would be like the one that you grew up learning.
Yeah, in the southern part of India. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
JWAX.
Yes.
Awesome.